Hello, I'm Kellan, and I'm going to be helping you translate Virgil's Aeneid as required in the AP exam. So, let's get started. Lines 1 to 80. Alright, so I'm going to be using this red pen to highlight subjects, and my normal pencil to be doing everything else. So, as a note, this is subject. When the circles are like verbs, so when the subject might be in the verb. If there's already a subject, that will lead into a normal verb, which is the subject's here, so it's not in the verb. This is the direct object, and then this is for like adverbs or adjectives and like stuff in the ablative. This is the genitive, so I'll put like the word here. And if it's on the other side, that's a dative. Alright, let's get cracking. So, starts off, just have my notes. Okay, so starts off. Oops, sorry, I already messed up. Okay, I sing of arms and a man who first, exiled by fate, came. Also, I might make mistakes, so be wary. Came from the shores of Troy, which is right here, to Italy. So, like John Arrow. To Italy. I mean, that's accusative. And the shores of Lavinia. That man, right here, Ille, having been thrown, I've taught this. Yeah, I'll also circle like perfect passive participles and stuff like that, but they aren't the main verb, but whatever. So, having been thrown a lot on both land and sea, alto is in like the deep sea, by the power of the gods, which is superum, on account of the savage anger of unforgetting Juno. This is like some chiasmus right here. Yeah. Also, having suffered a lot in war, until he could found a city and bring the gods to Latium, whence arose the Latin race. So it's the Latin race and the Alban fathers, and the walls of high Rome. So, muse in the vocative. Recount to me the causes. This defective verb. With divinity wounded, or grieving over what thing the queen of the gods forced a man, distinguished in pietas, to undergo so many misfortunes, to undertake so many labors. Ooh. Right here we have a little question. So, are there such great angers in the minds of the gods? So that'd be, are there such great angers in the minds of the gods? There was an ancient city, Tyrian colonists held it. Carthage. So, would be far opposite the mouth of the Tiber and Italy, which Juno is said to have cherished alone more than all other lands, with Samo having been placed afterwards. Here were her arms, here was her chariot. The goddess now then both strives and cherishes that this city be ruler to many races, if the fates allow it. But for Juno had heard, that's implied, had heard that the offspring from Trojan blood was being led in, or were being led in, of the sort which would one day overturn Tyrian citadels. That hence would come a population ruling widely and proud in war for destruction of Libya. Thus the fates were rolling. Saturn's daughter, fearing this, and mindful of old war, which, as leader, she had waged at Troy on behalf of dear Argos. Not even had the causes of anger and savage pains fallen from her mind. The judgment of Paris remains stored in her deep mind, and the injustice of her scorned form, and the hated race, and the honors of okay, and the honors of seized Ganymede. Enraged by these, she kept Trojans far off Latium, having been tossed over the whole sea, remnants of Greeks and cruel Achilles. And they wonder, having been driven by fates through many years across the whole sea. It was of such a great burden to found the Roman race. Scarcely from sight of the Sicilian land onto the sea, happy Trojans, implied, gave forth the sails, and rushed the spring of salt with bronze. When Juno, suffering from an eternal wound under her chest, said these things with herself. Inquisitive, am I conquered to cease from my undertaking, and not to be able... Okay, sorry, my camera ran out of time. Sorry, I also haven't been exactly documenting it. Okay, it's hard to do that. Okay. Am I, having been conquered, to cease from my undertaking, and not to be able to avert the avert the Trojans, the leader of the Trojans, from Italy. That's an genitive. Okay. Surely I am forbidden by fates. Okay, now she's gonna talk about a different story with Athena destroying Ajax for being terrible. That's this guy. He was not that good. Was Athena able to burn the fleet of Argives, I don't know, and to submerge they themselves into the sea on account of the crime of one and the madness of Ajax, son of Oileus. She herself, having hurled the swift fire of Jove from the clouds, and both scattered the ships and turned over the sea with winds, he snatched up that man, Ajax, breathing fire from a transfixed chest in a whirlwind, and impaled him on a sharp rock. But I, who strives as both queen of the gods and both sister and wife of Jupiter, to wage war with one race for so many years. And does anyone hereafter honor the divinity of Juno? Or will anyone, as suppliant, place honors on my altars? Okay, this part's a little weird, so I'm bringing up the pens. So, the goddess, pondering such things with herself in her inflamed heart, came to the fatherland of winds, Aeolia, a place teeming with raging winds. Ooh, here, pretty cool line. It's a word picture, so it's here, King Aeolus in a vast cave, because he's like in the cave. Wow. Okay, so here, King Aeolus in a vast cave controls struggling winds and the roaring storms with power, and restrains them with chains and a prison. Angry winds howl with a great murmur around. Angry winds howl with a great murmur of the mountain around enclosures. Here, King Aeolus sits on a high citadel and holds a scepter, and tempers and soothes minds and tempers angers. If he should not do this, which is like a future less vivid, or if he should not do this, surely the swift winds would bear away the seas and lands and bound the sky with themselves, and sweep through breezes. But omnipotent Father, fearing this, hid winds in black caves, and placed over them both a mass and high mountains, and gave a king, who by a fixed contract would know how to both restrain and give loose reins, ordered by Jupiter, implied. To him then suppliant Juno used these voices. Aeolus, in the vocative, for the father of gods and king of men gave to you the ability, implied, to soothe waves and raise winds. A race unfriendly to me, dative, sails the Tyrian Sea, carrying Trojans and conquered household gods to Italy. Strike forces into winds and overwhelm sunken ships. Or drive the scattered and dispersed bodies into the sea. There are to me 14, because it's 2 times 7, nymphs of outstanding body, of whom Diopea, who is most beautiful in form, I will join to you in stable marriage, and dedicate her to you as your own, so that she may pass all years with you for such merits, and make you a parent with beautiful offspring. Aeolus says this in response. Your work, O Queen, is to find out what you wish. It is divine will for me to perform these orders. You win over for me whatever this is of a kingdom. You win over for me a scepter and Jupiter. You give me the power to recline at the feasts of gods. And you make me powerful of storm clouds and storms. Yeah, that's the first 80 lines. Well done.